Again, if you could please just stay muted throughout the presentations, it just helps with feedback while the presenters are talking. Thank you again so much for joining us for our information session this evening. My name is Jen Seeley, and I'm the coordinator of admissions, recruitment, and outreach at Frederick Community College. On behalf of the admissions team and FCC, I welcome you, and we are so excited to share with you information about the college. Tonight, you're going to hear some general information, and we will go over the enrollment steps. And then you'll hear from Dr. Molly Carlson, Assistant Dean, who will cover information on academic pathways. We're going to have time for questions and answers at the end of the session, but the chat box is open and we do have staff responding to your questions, so feel free to ask your questions throughout the presentation. Before we begin the formal presentations, I would like to introduce our two student ambassadors who are with us tonight, Angel and Bree. They both are second-year students and are here to talk about their experiences at FCC. So Angel, how about we start with you if you would like to introduce yourself and let everyone know why you chose to attend FCC.
Hello, my name is Angel. I'm currently a computer science major at FCC, second year here. I'm looking forward to transferring hopefully to the University of Maryland for the next fall semester, fall 2020. Yeah.
Why did you choose to attend FCC?
Oh, second question. I chose to attend FCC mostly because of financial restraints. I found that it's a lot more cheaper in comparison to going straight to a four-year college. And currently, when I was in high school, I knew I wouldn't be able to afford to go straight to a four-year. So.
Great, thanks, Angel. Hey, Bree, how about you introduce yourself to everyone?
Hi, I'm Bree. It's also my second year at FCC. I'm going to be graduating this spring, and I'm a business major. I also chose to go to FCC because it was the cheaper option compared to a four-year college, and because I didn't really know what I wanted to do going into college, so I kind of took my time at FCC to figure out what I wanted to major in.
Great. Thank you both. And we will be hearing more from Bree and Angel later on in the session. So if you have any questions that you want to start thinking about to ask a current student, this would be the perfect opportunity to do that. So I'm going to share my screen with you all and pull up a PowerPoint to kick things off on some general information about FCC, and then we'll talk the admissions enrollment steps. All right, so to kick things off, with the pandemic and our current remote structure at FCC, we updated a lot of our websites to provide resources for you since we're not holding on-campus events. So just on this slide, I wanted to point out on the admissions webpage, and we will link these for you in the chat box. Since we're not doing campus tours or again, on-person campus events, we have campus tour guides and a virtual campus tour shot by a drone so you can see campus. Our view book is on there that has a lot of good information. And then there's admissions videos that have student testimonials. We have our past recorded sessions that we've done throughout the fall semester that have presentations from financial aid, advising, transfer services, multicultural student services, ESL. So there's a lot of great information on our website just because we're not meeting in person. So feel free to check out those resources. Here's a snapshot of our student profile last fall. So we have about 6,000 credit students on campus or that attend FCC, not necessarily on campus. And then we have even more CEWD or continuing education and workforce development students. About 31% of FCPS graduates attend FCC. And over 1,000, we have over 1,000 graduates per year. And over half of our students plan to transfer to pursue their bachelor's degree at a four-year school after FCC. I'm going to skip kind of over these slides. You're going to hear from Dr. Carlson, who's going to go over all of the academic side of the house. But I wanted to point out that we do have over 85 different academic programs. So there is academic credit weight to these. Probably our most popular majors are in the business field, healthcare, STEM, or general studies. And Molly's going to go over kind of these career pathways for you. But then we also have continuing education and workforce development, or CEWD. So these are non-credit programs, but they're short-term training. So the goal of these fast track programs is to get you into your career or industry after completing them. So they are housed at the Monroe Center, which is part of FCC, but a separate facility about 10 minutes away from campus. And I wanted to point out that actually tomorrow night, if you're interested in any of our CEWD or programs that are offered at the Monroe Center, we are having a virtual open house where all of the program managers will be talking about specifics on the programs. So we'll make sure that the event link is in the chat box for you, but there is still time to sign up if you want to learn specifically about CEWD or Monroe Center programs. All right, support services at FCC. We really pride ourselves on being there for our students, and even more so now that we are currently in a remote learning structure with the pandemic. So counseling and advising, transfer services, and career services, they're all within the same department. Counseling and advising, all students to FCC, you will actually be assigned an advisor based on what major you're studying. So we moved to case management, so you'll have the same advisor throughout your whole year, your whole time at FCC. They will help you pick out your classes. You can meet with them each semester before you register for classes. They initially help with that transition to college for new students once you graduate high school, or adult students who are coming back to pursue their education at FCC. Transfer services are available for students who are interested in transferring to a four-year school. We have specific advisors who work with these four-year schools and know what courses for you to take at FCC so they go towards your associate's degree, but then also so they will transfer with you so you're not wasting your time and money. And they'll hold transfer fairs and have four-year college reps come to campus and work with you as well. And then career services, they do more than just helping students who are not sure exactly what they want to major in. So a lot of our general studies or students who are unsure what they want to pursue will visit career services because they have tools to kind of pull out your interest, hobbies, and goals and kind of narrow down some good career fields or majors for you. But then career services also works with our current students to help with internship placement or job placement. They have great alumni and networking connections. Then within our Learning Commons, we have free tutoring and writing available for all students. They have study skill workshops, test anxiety, procrastination. Those are just some examples of some workshops they hold. And then there's also the STEM Learning Center. So that's free tutoring for students that need help in any science, technology, engineering, or math class. We also have an honors college on campus. Our student ambassador, Bree, who is with us here in this session, is part of the honors college. So maybe she can talk a little bit about her experience through that opportunity. But in order to graduate with honors from FCC, you need to have at least a 3.25 GPA and take at least 12 honors credits. So that's about 4 classes. And with honors, you're going to complete an honors independent study project, which is kind of the equivalent of a practicum or an internship if you're thinking on the four-year scale. You'll get leadership development experience. You'll go to conferences, really great networking opportunities for you, and makes you look marketable when you're transferring to your four-year to have that on your resume. We also have a great department called Multicultural Student Services. This is an all-inclusive, open to all students. They do academic planning, mentoring. They do different trips on and off campus during normal circumstances. The PASS program, which is Partnership to Achieving Student Success, is also part of MSS. This is a year-long support program for new students who are coming to FCC who have placed in a developmental class. They kind of help you prepare for your time at FCC, and scholarships are available through that program as well. Then we also offer services for students with disabilities. So if you have a documented disability, our SSD office will work with you to provide the accommodations you need to be successful at FCC. It's really important to get involved on campus as well. We have a very active student development office. So we have clubs and organizations that are available to students, and those range from academic clubs like the nursing club or psychology club to the gaming club. We have a really cool active kind of gaming area in our student center that a lot of students hang out in. Student Government Association, It's students doing programming for other students, which is cool. They hold a lot of activities on and off campus. And then we also offer our National Junior Athletic Conference Association, men's and women's sports that are listed here on the screen. So if you're interested in doing athletics at FCC, if you have not already reached out to the coaches on the athletics webpage, there's a recruit questionnaire that you can send out and it will get sent to the appropriate coach. All right, how much does it cost to attend FCC for a year? So this number shows the annual cost for a full-time in-county student who's taking 30 credits per year. Just to give you a little reference, if your goal is to complete your associate's degree in 2 years, to be a full-time student, you'll take on average about 15 credits a semester. So that's 30 a year. So that's how we get these numbers. The green shows you the FCC cost versus blue is a public school in the state of Maryland versus the orange is private schools in the state of Maryland. And those numbers are, again, just tuition and fees, so they do not include room and board if you were to live on campus. So it just goes to show you that FCC is really a smart investment, that you're going to get a quality education, and there's still tons of financial aid and scholarship opportunities and payment plan available for all of our students at FCC. All right, my last thing I want to touch on is the enrollment steps. So how do you apply? Where do you start? What do you need to do? The first thing to enroll at FCC is to apply. So our online application is at frederick.edu/apply. It will take you less than 10 minutes to fill out the online application. There's no application fee. We do not require essays. We do not require recommendation letters. We do not require test scores. All you need to do is submit the online application, and that starts the enrollment process. We are open admissions, so all students are accepted. One thing to note, if you are a dual enrollment student or you will be doing dual enrollment in the spring, you must reapply to the college. Two main reasons for this: for you to declare a major, and then also for you to be eligible for financial aid. You're going to need to reapply. You're still going to be an FCC student. Your student ID number and email address that you were given as a DE student will be the same, but we just update you to make you a degree-seeking student so you can have your major and be eligible for financial aid. All right, so once you submit your application, you will receive a welcome packet in the mail from the admissions office within 2 weeks. That will have your student ID number if you do not already have it, and an enrollment checklist, which goes over these next steps. So you're going to want to then start thinking about financial aid. For any high school seniors out there, the FAFSA became available on October 1st, and the priority deadline to file your FAFSA in the state of Maryland is to have it done by March 1st, 2021. So seniors, you definitely want to have your FAFSA filed by March 1st, 2021. Again, your FAFSA determines what federal aid you qualify for, but there are also a lot of scholarships out there that are tied to the FAFSA. So you just want to make sure that you meet that March 1st deadline so you don't lose out on any other types of scholarships. Our foundation office at FCC, we also have a lot of scholarship opportunities. We will link that web address for you in the chat box. Our foundation scholarships become available for the fall semester on April 1st. So you still have some time before you're applying. But if anyone is interested in attending FCC this spring, those FCC Foundation scholarships are available now. They became available on November 1st. So if you're trying to enroll for the spring, there's still plenty of time to do that and follow these steps, and scholarships are available for you to apply now. So after you do the online application, you start filing your FAFSA, thinking about scholarship opportunities. All of our students who are taking credit courses must take placement testing or send in testing exemptions. So our placement testing are in math, sentence skills, reading and writing. It's 3 placement tests. It's untimed, it's not graded, it doesn't go towards your GPA. This is just an assessment for us to know what level of math and English for you to start in at FCC. So some examples of exemptions are listed here on the screen in the chart. If you have taken the ACT or the SAT, here are the scores you need. AP courses, if you have an unweighted GPA with 3.0 or higher, you're exempt from placement testing. And then there's a lot more other exemptions listed on the Testing Center webpage. So we'll make sure that we link that for you in the chat box if you're unsure if you've met the exemptions or you just want to explore all of the different options. So after you apply, I'd recommend having your high school transcript sent to us, any test scores you have, just so we can get those exemptions put in our system. So after you've done placement testing or sent your exemptions, we will be contacting you to go through our ROAR orientation. It's a part of orientation where you'll meet with an advisor. They will go over with you what classes to enroll in for the fall semester based on your transfer goals, your goals at FCC, your career goals. They'll make sure based on your major, what courses and what sequence of classes you should be taking. They'll show you how to enroll in classes in our PeopleSoft system, and then you'll know how to sign up for classes each semester. So that's just kind of a general breakdown of our enrollment steps. Again, if you have not, now's a great time to apply because you're thinking about it. We do not have a deadline. You can apply through the summer if you'd really like, but the earlier you apply, the sooner you can get rolling in your enrollment steps. And then finally, here's just the contact information for the admissions office. My email is on here, jsealy@frederick.edu. Feel free to send me an email personally, or admissions@frederick.edu is the admissions webpage that one of our staff members will respond to you. All right, so that is my general overview and the enrollment steps. I see Jane plugging away, putting in those links, so that's great. So I'm going to now turn things over to Dr. Molly Carlson, Assistant Dean, and she's going to talk all things on the academic side of the house.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jen, for that great presentation. I learned a lot. There's a lot of info coming at you tonight. And so the nice thing is you don't have to memorize it all tonight, right? There's a bunch of links. You can go on our website. It's all there. We are available for questions all the time. So if something comes up tonight, you're like, wait, I need more information about that, or I'm confused, we're here to answer your questions. This slide is a little bit self-serving. I'm not doing it because I'm vain. I just wanted to let you know that lots of us at FCC have started our careers at community colleges. This was my educational trajectory. I started in at Danville Area Community College in Illinois, and then got a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a doctorate. So that whole trajectory of all of those degrees took me about 15 years, and I was working full-time during the last 2. So education is an adventure. Just so welcome to it. We're glad you're looking at FCC. As Jen mentioned, our college does lots of different things, ranging from personal enrichment classes for children and folks in retirement, through short-term training programs where people build skills for the workplace. We offer certificates for people who are ready to get some skills to go right into a career. And then, of course, we offer associate degrees to prepare people to go on for more college. So we have so many programs to talk to you about. It's sometimes hard to know where to start, but I just want to give you a little overview tonight of the different pathways available at FCC. Our short-term training programs are listed here. These are typically 1 to 6 months long. They are on the main campus, or sometimes they're offered at our Monroe Center. And these are credentials that are very specialized to certain areas, ranging from healthcare careers, for example, our certified nursing assistant program, to welding, to makerspace skills. So these are our shorter term training programs. And again, you can explore these all online if you're interested. We also offer certificate programs. These are for college credit. They give you college credits. They usually take about 1 year. And these are going to be really specific to program areas too. So these generally don't include those general education courses that we'll talk about a little longer. These are really program specific certificates that again prepare you to go into the workplace. And these also range all over from healthcare again to tech fields, to education and childcare. You can see there's a big range of programs here. And finally, our associate degrees, I could barely even fit them on the slide. You're probably going to go blind trying to read them. We offer a lot of associate degrees. These programs are about 2 years in length. As Jen mentioned before, and I'm very glad she mentioned it, when you come to a community college and you plan to get done in 2 years, you really do need to look at 30 credits a year. And that's about 10 classes a year. We'll look at that in a little bit. But these programs, if you do want to complete them in 2 years, you do need to go full time, 15 credits a semester. Again, all different program areas we offer of our associate degree programs. So you might discover along the way, as you're looking at programs at FCC, that you notice a lot of different associate degrees. And I'm just going to stop here for a second and explain them, because in working with high school students, it's like, what's the difference? We have 3 of our associate degrees that are designed to prepare you to transfer. So when you're exploring the associate degree programs, if you see AA, Associate of Arts, AS, Associate of Science, or AAT, Associate of Arts in Teaching, those are programs that are getting you ready to go on to a 4-year school. And we work really carefully with the major 4-year institutions so that our curriculum transfers well for you, especially around the state. We also have Associate of Applied Science associate degrees, and those typically are designed to get you right into the workplace. There's some exceptions to that. Often you can transfer those credits too later on if you're interested, but those programs tend to have less general education coursework and more program-specific coursework. So that's just a little cheat sheet in case you see different kinds of associate degrees and want to know what they mean. And truly, I did not know any of this stuff when I was starting my associate degree. So you're in good company. When we look at the curriculum of an associate degree, generally, with some exceptions, it's about half courses in our general education core, and that's in these cool shapes here in the different colors: English composition, social and behavioral sciences, art, humanities, communication, math, science, and then on it, this is what you're going to take. These courses transfer all around the state. They're good currency for working toward a bachelor's degree. And most of our associate degree programs are about half general education courses. Within those categories, sometimes we're going to tell you which science class you should take, and sometimes you're going to be able to choose, right? The nice thing is, as Jen said, you work with an academic advisor who knows all the regulations that can really help you know when you need to pick a certain class and when there's some flexibility. Looking at our general studies degree, which is a program I oversee, the other half of your courses would be electives. That means you can just take anything. Our general studies degree is popular for that reason, because sometimes students are still exploring and want to just be able to take courses and decide what they want to do. I obviously think that's fabulous, but I'm also at the point now in understanding how college coursework goes that we want you to be actually thinking about your career and your future plans while you're at FCC. And sometimes that general studies major is not the best thing to do. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Okay, so this is about how your curriculum would break down. You can see that most of our programs are just about 20 courses for an associate degree. So if you take 10 a year, you're going to get done in 2 years. Okay. True or false? Nobody's probably going to answer me, but you're welcome to put your answers in the chat. Majoring in general studies is the preferred way to get my general education courses done before I transfer. Okay. So in the chat, if you're so inclined, true or false? Is this a true statement? General studies is the best way to get my gen ed courses done before I transfer. Okay, what are we seeing in the chat there, Jen?
Seeing some falses.
Oh, wow. You guys are just way ahead of me. Okay, great. Fabulous. Okay, so let's see. Is this true or false? False. Very good. Those of you who said false. We have actually more than 25 majors that offer a full program of general education courses. So you don't have to declare general studies to get your gen eds done. 25 of our programs offer all the gen ed courses you would need to transfer. Okay, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I want to encourage you to later tonight or at some time, maybe when you're sitting in class, and you're not totally engaged in what's going on, not that that would happen to any of you, check out our program page on our website, because every time you click on one of these boxes, you're going to learn a lot of information about the specific programs. Under business, you're going to click on that and you're going to find out a lot of information about what the programs are like. I am going to actually share a screen with you to show you how that works, right? So here's our program pages. I'm going to look at the psychology degree. I'm going to find it here. It's under social sciences. And I'm just going to point out to you all the information that's available here on these pages. Contact information for the program. Okay, Lisa DiDonato, Dr. DiDonato, she's amazing. You can email her or call her. And then here, I want to show you the curriculum. So this describes the program a little bit, and then it shows something we call a pathway. This is really helpful information for helping you figure out how to get through a program. Well, we design these pathways. The big green lines represent semesters. So if you come to FCC full time, these are the classes we recommend that you would take your first semester in the psychology program. Some of you are maybe in dual enrollment. You'll see that you're already checking off some of these classes. If you're in English 101 or a math dual enrollment or psych, you've got those out of the way. If you can't come to FCC full time, and we know that some students can't, these numbers over here tell you the order to take the classes in. Okay, so we've tried to make this fairly simple for you. If it's too confusing tonight, or you're like, I don't understand, the advisor is there for you to help you interpret this and know what it means for you in exploring your program. And the last piece I wanted to share with you is if you click on transfer here, we've developed what we call transfer pathways. These are fairly new at FCC, but let's just say you're a psychology major and you'd like to go to Towson. We're going to tell you exactly what FCC courses to take to transfer to Towson successfully, okay? And sometimes it's not really what you would expect, right? So it could be that we recommend here an elective class. If you don't look at this, you might just take anything, which will be fine for Towson. But if you're going to Hood, you really should have taken Psych 207. Okay. And not doing this to overwhelm you, just to point out, we have a ton of resources available for you to help you plan for a really successful transfer. All right. So I'm going to hop back over to this and pick up where we left off. Again, these are our major transfer institutions at FCC. So these are the places where our students most often go. Our transfer office can help you get there. And if you're still deciding, so maybe you're not decided yet, totally fine. That's very common. Our career services office can meet with you individually to help you understand your interests. There's a website, of course, that can help you explore your interests. And then finally, I work with a program called ACE, where you can actually take classes to help you figure out what you'd like to do, credit classes. So look up those ACE courses if you want to register for college credit to help you figure out your career plans, okay? The last thing I want to touch on, and then I'll turn it back over to Jen and our students, is you may be having some questions about how FCC is operating right now during COVID. Most of our classes are in a remote format, but there are a few exceptions. We have 3 different course formats for the spring. We're not entirely sure what this will look like for the fall, but I'm sure there'll be some version of this and you'll know what it is. Our online courses are fully online. You do not need to come to campus. You do need to regularly log in, but it doesn't need to be at a specific time. So those are our traditional online courses. We also have structured remote courses. These also are entirely remote. You do not need to come into campus to take these classes. The difference is you do log in at least once a week to a live course session like this. This is similar to what's happening in FCPS right now with remote classes. So in structured remote, you do log in, you see your classmates if they turn their video on, right? You definitely see your faculty member, and you're going to have more live class sessions and less individual work. The third modality is called hybrid remote classes. These do ask students to come into campus. Sometimes it's once a week. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's for final skills tests for maybe a hands-on class where you have to demonstrate your skills in an area. But those hybrid remote classes do have students coming on campus periodically. We will always let you know when you're expected to be on campus. So if you're in a hybrid remote class, on the first day of class, you're going to know when you're expected to be on campus for the rest of the semester, because we know it's really important for students to be able to predict their schedules with work and other obligations. So I think that's it for my presentation. I'll be available on the call to listen to the rest of this and answer any questions.
Great, thanks so much, Molly. So a lot of great information for all of you. At this point, if anyone has any questions, feel free to enter them in the chat box right now. In the meantime, I am going to ask our student ambassadors, Bree and Angel, to hop back on here, and we will ask them some questions to be able to share their experience as an FCC student. So again, if you have any questions about anything related FCC to myself or Molly on any of the information we presented, feel free to put your question in the chat box. Also, if you have a question that you would like to ask one of our two current FCC students, put that question in the chat as well. Okay, so let's kick things off. Bree, how about I start with you? Can you talk a little bit about what has been the biggest difference or differences for you between high school and college?
The workload has definitely been the biggest thing for me, and like the freedom. I know, especially with the online classes, at least a lot of the ones that I'm in is kind of self-paced. Like you get your work for the week that you have to complete, and then you have to kind of create your own schedule to complete it all. And it's just a lot more time management than high school was, and like planning things out like that.
Yeah, that's a really great perspective. Angel, how about what, Bree had touched on the workload. Can you talk a little bit what the workload is like in college versus high school? Like, is it a lot more group presentations, paper writing, reading, and answering questions? What's kind of your workload like, and about how many hours a week do you have of homework?
Well, I found that it kind of depends on what class it is. Personally, for me, I have found that most of my classes prefer assigning papers and projects that might take a long time to do rather than high school when you just had like one-off assignments like, oh, you read that one thing for class, so do this one page or activity. So usually for me, my workload is researching starting Monday, and then hopefully by Friday I'll churn out like 2 to 3 papers depending on how busy of a week it is. Usually for classes like introductory to anthropology and stuff, it's mostly reading books, self-study. Sometimes you have a paper or two to do, and then the exam. It's mostly the exams that is like the culmination of like everything that you've been studying for in that class. So instead of in high school where you can see your progress kind of because they make you do so many assignments and then they grade it and they're like, okay, you understand this topic and this topic. For my experience in college, it's mostly, hey, study this, and then hopefully if you studied it well enough on the exam, it'll reflect how much effort you put in that class. So personally, I usually put in per class probably I'm not even sure how many hours to put to it, but it's a lot. How many hours? I mean, I work every day, every week for since I wake up at like, let's say my day starts at like 10:30, and I'll stop at like 5:30 or something. I'll be working, doing schoolwork that whole time. So I'm not sure how that reflects hour-wise per class, but it's a lot more work, I guess.
Yeah, well,
If
that
you
just
don't
shows you.
understand what you're learning and you have to figure it out on your own.
Right. It just shows you how much work it is being a full-time student. I mean, it is going to class and doing your work is like a full-time job. All right, great. Molly, someone also asked if a high school student can take an ACE class for
Yeah.
dual enrollment. Do you know that answer?
Yeah, I just saw that. Definitely. We offer them on campus. You could come and take it as a open campus class. Our ACE courses typically have a lower prerequisite than some of the other ones. There's 2 of them we offer that don't have a prerequisite. One of them is called Choosing a Major or Career, ACE 107. That could be right up your alley. And you do not have to take a test or have a prerequisite to take that class. They're also being offered at Frederick High and Linganore High. There's a couple ACE classes. So if you have a relationship with your guidance counselor or happen to know what's going on your campus, we are just this year starting to offer ACE on your campus. But yes, definitely, you'd be welcome to take a class as a high school student.
Perfect. Thanks, Molly. And someone asked if they end up deferring their admission for a four-year university because of COVID, can they come to FCC during the gap year and then transfer those credits? Absolutely, you can. When I just was going over the enrollment steps, just make sure you submit an application and then, complete the enrollment steps, doing your placement testing or sending in your exemptions, and you can easily enroll that year that you're kind of deferring your 4-year because of the pandemic. And then again, we've talked on our advisors and our transfer services. They'll make sure and work with you to make sure you're taking classes to know how they will transfer to that particular 4-year that you're planning on attending after a year. So yes, you can easily come for a year. You can transfer, and after a year, you don't have to come for the whole associate's degree. It's based on whatever is your transfer goals, your career goals, whatever your plan is. So yes, you can definitely do that. All right, Bree, I'm coming back to you for a question. I'd mentioned that you were in the honors college. Do you mind just sharing a little bit about what that experience has been like for you, and maybe some benefits the honors college, what benefits there are?
Yeah. So the honors college has been so far a really beneficial experience for me. A lot of the honors classes that I've taken this semester, I'm going to be completing my 4th one. You get to dive into topics that you're interested in and work on a research project throughout the semester. And then you get to present it at the honors forum at the end of the semester. And your research project, you get to choose pretty much any topic you're really interested in that deals with your class pretty much. Like, I'm in an economics class right now, so I'm doing my honors project on the racial wealth gap. So that kind of thing. And you just get to you learn how to do a lot of good research, which has been really beneficial. It's helped me in a lot of my other classes. And you also get to learn how to write a really good APA formatted paper, which has helped me a lot, especially with my other classes. And putting together a presentation and presenting it at the honors forum has definitely helped me as well with just my presentation skills and preparing for big presentations, that kind of thing.
Awesome. Thanks. And there's a really cool honors lounge too on campus.
There is. Yeah, the honors lounge is pretty cool.
All right, Angel, can you tell everyone what your favorite class at FCC has been so far and why you enjoy that class?
Well, I may be a computer science major, but I could definitely say those are not my favorite courses. Personally, it was my favorite class at FCC has been an art course I took, Art 101, or is it Drawing 101? I don't remember the names, but it's 101 introductory of drawing or painting or whatever. It was my favorite course because of like the resources that the campus has for art classes when I was on campus anyway. I'm not sure how that works now with COVID and stuff, if any art classes have hybrid meetups or not. But it was really fun for me because of I just said it was because of the resources, but I got to use their metal easels, which if you don't know, easels are very expensive. And the ones that my classroom had specifically were like all metal. And when I tried searching online to see how much it was like over $300. Like, this is great.
Yeah, all of the art classrooms on campus are really cool. They have really nice art labs. And like you were saying, they have all the equipment that you need to take your painting classes or your sculpture classes or whatever in the art realm you're taking. And they do a really nice job on campus too of displaying all of the students' artworks. There's different galleries and in the hallways. So it's really cool to be able to see kind of what the students are producing as well, which is neat. Okay, Bree, let me come back to you for a question. I touched a little bit on the presentation about support services. Can you talk a little bit about some support services that you have utilized as a student?
Especially with all the honors projects I've done so far at FCC and all the papers I've had to write, the tutoring and writing center has been super, super helpful. I've gone there for almost every paper that I've written pretty much, especially with my English classes. And I know that they do have like online resources too, since we can't really go to the tutoring and writing center. And there's like always a librarian online, which has been helpful. I've used that a couple times with researching, and just like having other people to be able to edit your papers right there in front of you has been super, super helpful. And they give really good feedback. So that's probably my favorite resource on campus.
Awesome. I know a lot of students who utilize that resource as well. A lot of our ambassadors, we had a session last night and one was talking about that exact same situation. So I'm glad that you're taking advantage of that. That's great. All right, Angel, what is a piece of advice that you would give to a prospective student currently going through the college search process right now?
For me, I'm probably not the best example of looking into four-year universities, since I was kind of set on just going to community college instead. But as a someone who's looking into going into a four-year university, I would probably weigh in like what you want out of it, really, because you're gonna be paying a lot of money. So it's probably best to research what resources that university has and if you would use it. So like FCC has resources like helping writing essays, or the STEM Center that helps you with your math homework and stuff. So if having resources to help you learn is important to you, I would look into, if you're interested in eventually transferring to a four-year university, to look into what they can provide you as a student there. Like, or if money is important to you, you can research how much dorming there would cost, or how much money it would be per credit and stuff like that. And if you're planning on going to FCC first and then potentially transfer, I would definitely look into what four-year university you would want to go to anyway. So to backtrack, even if you're looking to go straight to FCC first, I would still look into what four-year university you'd want to go to, because when you're picking classes, you want to make sure that those classes will go to that university. So unlike me, when I started out, I wasn't really sure what four-year I wanted to go to at first. So I was mostly picking courses to fulfill an associate's degree. But now that I've finally found out which college I definitely want to go to, it's important to know which courses I've taken will actually transfer to that university.
Yeah, I think there's two really good points that I picked up from that. One, financials. That's why scholarships are really important too when you're looking at FCC, four-year schools, wherever you're looking. Apply for as many scholarships as possible. There's so many out there, and every little bit helps. So keep that in mind when you're looking at schools. And yes, it's helpful to know if you have in mind what four-year you're transferring to, because when you're picking classes early on in your first or second semester even, it helps your advisor to kind of know what classes will transfer. So again, you're not wasting your time or your money. Okay, a couple of questions are rolling in here in the chat that I just wanted to briefly address. Someone asked if the Learning Commons is open during COVID, the tutoring and writing center. They do have, that is turned to remote structure right now. So students can get free tutoring remotely online. That's still available with COVID. You cannot come to campus. The Learning Center is physically closed on campus, but you are able now to virtually do the free tutoring and writing center online. Did I miss?
And that'll probably, as we open up a little bit more, as we go to other phases of opening, that will open up. It's just, we're not there yet.
All right. We're getting close to our time here. So I think, Bree, I'm going to ask you one question to wrap up, and then maybe I'm going to follow up on some chat, type them out here so we get those answered. What is your favorite thing about FCC?
My favorite thing has honestly been probably the people, just A, all the students I've met, and B, all of the teachers I've had. I don't think I've disliked a single professor I've had the whole time I've been here. Everyone's been super helpful, and especially with remote learning, like all my teachers have been really fast to respond to emails, really helpful, always wanting to answer any of the questions I have. And that was pretty much the same when we were even in person too. All the teachers have just been really, really great.
Awesome. Angel, in 20 seconds, can you tell me what your favorite thing about FCC is?
My favorite thing of FCC, the cost. Cost is my favorite thing.
Affordable education. Everybody likes that. All right. Molly, do you have any last minute things for the group? I think we answered most of the questions in the chat.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm doing a couple more that came just right to me.
Okay.
But,
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so again, since this session is recorded, we will have it linked on the admissions webpage. We have an admissions playlist that takes you to YouTube, and it has all of our prior events recorded on there. So you're able to go back and reference anything that we spoke about tonight. I think that about wraps up our time. So again, if anyone has any additional questions, feel free to email me. My email is jseeley@frederick.edu. I'm putting that in the chat again real quick so you have it. You can email me. If I don't have the answer, I will make sure that I get it from someone who does and get back to you. Thank you again all so much for joining us. And again, a quick reminder, if anyone is interested in any of the Monroe Center or CEWD programs, tomorrow night we are having a virtual open house. I did put the link for that in the chat box, but it's on the website under upcoming events. Again, it's tomorrow at 6 p.m. We hope to see some of you there. Best of luck in the rest of your school year, work-life balance. Everyone be safe and be well. Thank you to Dr. Carlson for presenting, and for Bree and Angel for giving us student perspective, and for Jane running our chat. I appreciate all of you. Everyone, have a great night. Thanks.